A dramatic showdown unfolded in Lower Manhattan that captures the fierce battle over immigration enforcement, and the stakes couldn't be higher. 11 elected officials in New York were taken into custody inside the federal building at 26 Federal Plaza, sparking a wave of controversy and raising critical questions about transparency and accountability. The drama unfolded when these local leaders demanded access to a concealed Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) holding area located on the building's 10th floor, a space often shrouded in secrecy. What followed was an intense hour-long standoff. The officials refused to leave the hallway outside the locked detention area, pounding on the doors and breaking into chants and songs in protest. Ultimately, law enforcement officers restrained them with zip ties and took them into custody. Fortunately, all 11 were released within the hour. Among those detained were some of New York's most prominent progressive voices: City Comptroller Brad Lander, State Senators Jabari Brisport, Gustavo Rivera, and Julia Salazar, and Assembly members Robert Carroll, Emily Gallagher, Jessica Gonzalez-Rojas, Marcella Mataines, Steve Raga, Tony Simone, and Claire Valdez. Jessica Gonzalez-Rojas, visibly emotional, explained her motivation intimately. "I'm here for my neighbor Dino," she shared, referring to a beloved restaurant worker recently arrested in Queens. "I'm brokenhearted. This is just one story among many in my community." Her words reveal how immigration enforcement isn't just abstract policy. It has deeply personal impacts on everyday lives. Marcella Mataines, who represents Sunset Park, spoke passionately in Spanish, underscoring the fear gripping immigrant communities. "They're afraid to step outside," she said. "Parents won't take their kids to school. We cannot allow this to carry on." Her statement spotlights a community living in constant anxiety, caught in the crossfire of immigration crackdowns. Before the arrests, Department of Homeland Security police repeatedly told the lawmakers to disperse, but they stood their ground. When questioned, Tricia McLaughlin, DHS Assistant Secretary, condemned the protest sharply. She accused City Comptroller Lander, who has a history of peaceful arrests during similar demonstrations, of orchestrating a stunt that endangered DHS staff and detainees. McLaughlin emphatically called for an end to his actions, insisting that the facility holds individuals with criminal records and emphasizing that the building was briefly locked down later due to a potential bomb threat. Here's where it gets complicated and controversial. Federal law grants certain members of Congress the right to perform unannounced inspections of ICE detention centers. 4 New York congressional representatives, Adriano Espaillat, Nydia Velázquez, Jerry Nadler, and Dan Goldman, have repeatedly been denied access to the 10th floor. Espaillat and Goldman have now joined a legal battle to enforce their inspection rights, but local elected officials lack this legal authority. This legal gray area creates tension between federal jurisdiction and local advocacy. The protesters were charged with unreasonably obstructing the usual use of entrances and must appear in federal court in Manhattan this November. Meanwhile, others, including public advocate Jumaane Williams and city council members Sandy Nurse and Tiffany Caban, were arrested by the NYPD for blocking an entrance where ICE vans are parked. The NYPD has yet to provide details on the total arrests or specific charges. This incident is part of a larger wave of clashes between Democratic lawmakers nationwide and the federal government over the Trump administration's escalated immigration enforcement policies. Just a day before these arrests, a federal judge ruled in favor of immigrant advocates who contested the harsh conditions inside the ICE holding cells on the 10th floor, ordering tangible improvements. The ruling demands adequate personal space, at least 50 square feet per person, 3 meals daily, clean bedding, and confidential access to legal counsel for detainees held over 24 hours. This injunction comes after months of harrowing reports from detainees who suffered overcrowding, lack of basic hygiene and food, and conditions so dire they were forced to sleep upright. The clampdown on ICE's detainee population is stark. Numbers dropped from nearly 200 people in the summer to just 8 as of August 18th, according to ICE records shared with the court. The emotional voices of community members and the legal wrangling highlight the complexity of immigration enforcement today. Are protests and civil disobedience effective methods to demand transparency and humane treatment? Or do they risk overshadowing serious security concerns within federal facilities? What responsibilities do local officials have in advocating for communities, especially when federal laws limit their oversight? This confrontation at 26 Federal Plaza isn't just about a locked door. It's a reflection of the fractured national debate on immigration enforcement, government transparency, and human rights. What do you think? Should local elected leaders push boundaries for their constituents or respect federal jurisdiction more strictly? Join the conversation and share your perspective, because this story is far from over.